We are storytelling apes, and storytelling is about to get supercharged in the next year or two. But also, what it means to be this ape, this species, this type of thing will get turned on its head in the next decade or so. Why do I say that? Why do I sound so confident in saying that? Is because AI again, amongst all of our problems, whether it's population collapse and dead zones in the ocean and the economics and blah, 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 all of this stuff, yes, we are at a very strange time in history, but we will just focus on AI for today. And we will say that AI will supercharge our storytelling, which is already affecting us and will affect us more in like kind of a post-truth sort of world, because we'll just be swimming in that much story. But what happens when AI takes 40% of jobs, 50% of the jobs? What happens then? Because when we've to reevaluate what work is, we will have to reevaluate what we are working towards. Now, it's no stretch to say that AI will take a lot of jobs, just like the printing press did and just like every other advancement in technology did. But AI is the first technology that works across technologies. So it doesn't matter if you're a biologist or a physicist or a chemist, or you work with people, or you manufacture things, or you manage the transport of things, or whatever it is. AI will assist you in your job, therefore making you more powerful, therefore making you able to do more work across the board. One lawyer will be able to do the job of 100 lawyers because it can ask AI to just scan the relevant documents instead of having a team scan through relevant documents. They're already seeing that. The accountants, obviously, the artists. No one expected that, but here it comes. So, when that happens, what questions are we going to ask? How are we going to tackle that issue? Because economics, our jobs, are a massive part of how we value ourselves, how we see ourselves, how we see our self-worth, how we judge each other, how we know what each other is interested in, how we understand ourselves and the world. A large portion of that is through our economic contributions. But even just the economy itself isn't really making sense too much anymore. Having an ever-growing economy on a finite planet seems a bit strange. Now, there are answers to that, such as going virtual, having a virtual world, being able to expand into the world of bits instead of a world of atoms. That world doesn't really appeal to me. I think at some point we might need to sit back and say, what happens if we don't grow? Which, in a world full of interest rates for finance, doesn't work. So this topic, this point I'm trying to point towards, is a very strange question. It's people will tear it apart in 10 different ways. But here's the argument. If we can no longer value ourselves, and I'm talking about the masses here, like there will be people who still work, and they will have their own game and they will continue to play that out. But they will also need to live on a planet with the rest of us. What are we going to do? So if economics doesn't really work, or at least we have to re-evaluate exactly what we're working towards, how do we do that? We can't do that within the economic model. Simply doesn't work. Okay, then we'll drop down. Next on the list is physicality, making sure that we are healthy. Now, if you were around for 2020, you will know that elevating physical health to the one and only God is not a good move, because second and third order effects can be quite harrowing, can be quite bad, and the effects on the transport system may have cost more lives than any health questions at the time. We didn't know that at the time. I get it, I know. But physicality doesn't motivate us either. I'm going to run just so I'm going to be healthy at 80. I need a better story because we are storytelling animals. So maybe it'll be that. Maybe we'll drop into creativity because creativity is beautiful. And why can't we just write a poem? And why can't we just paint a picture and, like, spend our days in this lovely world where all of our free time is now freed up to do all this creative stuff? Well, we haven't done that so far, have we? Because technology has already freed up quite a lot of our time. And we definitely don't produce more art. We simply consume more art. And our time is taken that way. So, what happens, and can it happen, that we drop all the way down to spirituality? So that how we work and how we work together is for spiritual benefit, for wisdom, because we want to build each other up. So that we go on this hike together collectively to have a theme, have an intention, and have a challenge that brings us all together for whatever reason. To have a collective fast, perhaps. Again, to challenge ourselves, to show solidarity with each other. All of these different things. What about then when it comes to teaching? So if AI can teach the kids the history and the maths and whatever language better than we can, then what else do we want to teach to kids? Do we want to teach them what it means to be, what breathwork is, what yoga is, what it means to relax in a space, how to settle this nervous system? Because it doesn't all just land up here, it does have to travel down into the body. Doesn't matter how smart you are. That, I think, is the question. Now, whether we're going to be able to ask it, I do not know. We are implicitly kind of asking these questions of what spirit do we elevate and what is the thing. So at the moment in our secular economy, we have politics as one of the kind of things that we hold on to. We orientate our whole lives around politics. Who's going to win? Who's going to lose? That's the thing that's going to change the world. Other people emphasize their own hobbies and their own interests. That's the things that's going to change the world. Other people have science as the big daddy sort of capital G God, because that's going to get us off this planet, or that's going to just revolutionize the world again somehow, some way. And isn't it so beautiful that we get to discover the world and understand it and all of the rest? I'm not saying there's anything bad against any of these things, but simply to say that as we all come together and as we all have to work together or live together or whatever we have to do, maybe having a mystery in the middle of it might be important, where people don't know the answer, and yet every time they come towards this mystery, whatever that is, they do learn something. So, like, they get a little bit wiser. Now, this naturally brings me to the virtues and why I think they're so important. This can bring you to the transcendentals, the good, the true, and the beautiful. That has historically been very important, and still is within the virtues. And there are ways of conceptualizing the mystery. And we can maybe have that question. Does that question belong here on the internet? No. That question directs us all the way back into whatever room you are in, whatever people are in the other concrete boxes nearby you, and entering into the world that way and asking, what are we all working towards? What a beautiful note. So, to finish off, we are storytelling apes. We are going to supercharge our storytelling ability, but we are going to question what it is to be human. As AI gets more intelligent, we're going to question, geez, what is our intelligence separate from that intelligence? Is there anything left? Is there anything remaining? Or are we simply a large language model ourselves? That question will be asked and answered. And then it will be, okay, for what is remaining for us in our little playground, in our little space where we get to play with our toys, and it can do all the heavy lifting of all the stuff that we don't want to do, because that's why it got invented. That's why it is a tool for us to use, like any tool. So the question is, do we have the wisdom to aim the tool in the right direction, to facilitate a beautiful life? What is that beautiful life aimed towards? What is it orientated towards? Is it orientated towards having and getting more things? Or is it orientated towards being and having experiences, but a quality of being in the world that is better or nice or good? That's the question for this week. That's the question for this decade. But with all of that said, I hope you've had a great week. I hope you're looking forward to the week to come, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.